Okay.
Cool.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
We are here at the B.B. King Blues Club and Grill, New York City, October 24th, 2008. My name is Dave. I'm with FenderPick.com, the best guitar forum on the web, known as the boss man around the forum, but we have the boss man of the blues, Smokin' Joe Bonamassa, with us. Thank you very much, Joe.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for allowing us to take some of your time today before the show and ask a couple questions.
No problem.
In fact, I just had mentioned to you that we are obviously a Fender forum, but we added a Gibson section to the forum. We had to do it because Gibson needs to be there as well. Our forum is blues-based, and we have our heroes and mentors. In fact, I was checking in. Is it true that you share the same birthday as Robert Johnson?
I do share the same birthday. I didn't notice that until I was like in my teenage years. I got one of those blues calendars, you know, like the theme calendars, and somebody gave me one with the blues and had all the notables, like when Son House was born, and you know, B.B. King and Lead Belly and all that. I noticed that, and I went to my birthday, and I said Robert Johnson. I thought that was pretty. I thought that was really, you know, and I was just getting into Cream and Clapton at that point, and I thought it was really telling. I was like, well, you know, here I have this you know, strange you know, connection to you know, the music, you know, this thing about you know, ultimately, you know, the blues for me was so powerful, and I didn't know why. Right. So that was a, you know, that was a big thing, and so the share of birthday of Robert Johnson was awesome.
Incredible. It's like you have blues in your DNA.
I was born on would have been his 66th birthday if he survived that long.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now I've heard you claim that you have liberal views on the blues, and you cover a wide spectrum of rock and blues. Can you explain what you deem the liberal views on what the blues means to you?
Well, I do have liberal views of the blues. I have a, you know, I think blues is a giant umbrella. And I do these things in schools called Blues in the Schools, and my opening line to them is like, hello kids, hello Joe, do you guys like Led Zeppelin? Yes. Do you guys like Jimi Hendrix? Yes. Well, then you've heard the blues. You know, and to me, you know, Led Zeppelin is just as much the blues as Robert Johnson. Now, there's certainly dissenting views and opinions in it, but it's exactly what it is. It's just a view and an opinion. Especially, you know, I mean, blues represents maybe less than 1% of all records sold in the United States. And it's like, why would we have any business being, you know, kind of like, you know, not inclusive in this community? It's like, to me, it's like, you know, if kids want to play heavy versions of, you know, Mustang Sally or Sweet Home Chicago, and they want to do it with Jackson Flying V's, and, you know, to me that's the blues too, because ultimately it's kids that we need. We need a new generation of fans, and I use this analogy a lot, and I've said it before, but you know, my grandfather is 50 years older than me. Okay, you know, I was born when he was 50, and so his first car was a 1947 Plymouth. Okay, he drives a Saturn now. The concept of the horseless carriage has remained the same, but the horseless carriage, aka the car, has evolved. So like any good thing, blues and stuff, it has to evolve, and it has to reflect the times in which it's being played in. Being as I may, I share the birthday of Robert Johnson. I'm a huge traditional blues fan. I just don't believe that the future of the blues lies in being so bent up about playing it like it was 60 or 70 or 80 years ago. Right. That's just my view.
Right. Your interpretation of
my interpretation of the blues.
And in fact, I mean, it goes back to your dad. I know was a guitar dealer. You grew up upstate in New York, so you played pretty much every guitar imaginable, and now seen as the ambassador of Gibson for Gibson.
Yes.
Having the opportunity of playing any guitar, what is it about Gibson that you connect with so much? And the follow-up to that would be, how much input did you have with your signature model guitar?
Well, I will say this. I mean, I've played every type of guitar on stage. I know there's one guy, I don't know, some forum or something like that, and you know, things Gibson bought and paid for it all, or at least bought me. And then posted pictures of me playing everything from a Chandler guitar to a Gelati to a Stratocaster to, you know, and it's like, well, you could say the same thing about Clapton. you can find pictures of him with Gibsons even today. You know, I've seen him play an L5, you know, in concert. You know, and it's like, to me, it's like it's the right guitar for the right song. And over the past 5 years, I've transitioned out of Fender being the right guitar for the right song, more into Gibson, the sound of the Les Paul, being the right guitar for the right song. And I find that happening more and more and more over the course of 5 years. I always played Les Paul. You know, historically, I played a 335 for a while.
Nice guitar too.
It's a beautiful one. I have several old ones. Again, I like guitar sounds that wrap around your head, not ice pick your head. You know, it's like there's some guitars that are so strident that it's just unpleasant to listen to. It's too much top end to get overly, you know, analytical about it. It's like too much 2K or one. You know, it's like the EQ if you have a 31 band. So I noticed like the sound in my head was this really earthy, warm, big, but yet having enough, you know, having the right top on it, not the ice pick sound. So I find it was easier to achieve that with a Gibson. Because with the Fender style stuff and any other guitars, I was having to boost so many things before
to bring up
and then roll. I'm constantly rolling treble off. Where with the Les Paul, I didn't have to do that. Consequently, Gibson honored me this year with my own Joe Bonamassa signature model. I don't plan on breeding, David, and it's the closest thing I have to a child. Now, be as it may,
and we can't get one though. That's just the thing. We can't.
It's only 300 made, which I think, you know, knock on wood, they want to do another one maybe next year, which would be fun. And you know, the cool thing is, like, I flew down to Nashville, went to the custom shop, spent the day down there, and like when you're a kid and they go, you know, Gibson and, you know, Fender are iconic. You know, those are your things. And it's like, you know, if you told me when I was 10 years old that one of these days I'm going to be brought down to Nashville, walks into the Gibson custom shop and told you can build anything you want, I'd be like, here, you're lying. You know?
Right.
But that's basically what it is. I mean, it's based on an old guitar my dad had in his shop. It was a basket case, like 55 Les Paul Gold Top that had been routed for humbuckers, put the Tune-O-Matic on there, painted black in the back because there's so many cracks on it, and yeah, literally, because you just hide the cracks. That's the old adage. And so it was lovely guitar, but I think the price of the guitar was $1,200. But as an 11-year-old kid, $1,200 may as well have been $1.2 million.
Absolutely.
So there's only so many papers I was willing to deliver. Okay, so that was basically it. And he was a guitar dealer, and you know, had to pay for the lights and the the food on the table. And so he ended up selling it. So when Gibson approached me about doing specifically a gold top, you know, I had it in my head, and I just drew it out.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. You have a knack of